Senator Lindsey Graham says Russian President Vladimir Putin should be investigated for war crimes, and he is urging the Senate to pass a resolution supporting an international criminal court investigation into Putin and his regime's, quote, war crimes against humanity and war crimes against the people of Ukraine and others, close quote. And Senator Graham joins us now. Senator Graham, thank you very much for being here. You've been one of the most persistent and public critics of Vladimir Putin in Congress. I'm thinking about you inviting a dissident not that long ago to actually testify against him in the United States Congress. On the war crimes question, what was the breaking point for you before this extraordinary press conference yesterday?
When they started using banned munitions like cluster bombs, vacuum bombs, everything he's doing is illegal under the law of war. And the International Criminal Court during the Balkans conflict really came about in the 90s, and we had 161 people from privates to prime ministers prosecuted for war crimes. There is no rule of law in Russia to hold Putin accountable, so this international tribunal is the right way to go. I talked to the British yesterday, and we're going to come up with a plan to start identifying Russian units and give the world the names of the commanders of the people who are doing this. So I want a multiple front approach when it comes to Putin and those who are carrying out this war. Economic sanctions, aid to the Ukrainians so they can fight back. But I want every military commander and every pilot to know in Russia that if you carry out these atrocities against the Ukrainian people, you do so at your own peril. You're going to wind up in the dock.
So let's linger on those atrocities for a second, Senator, because it doesn't take an expert in military tactics to look at the Putin situation and say he's in trouble. The Ukrainian people are putting up a tremendous fight. He's got no way out, it seems, except through. So this could get very bad. Thinking back to World War II, is there a moment for Americans, for the American military, where we say, as human beings, as people, we can't let this stand anymore. We need to do something in the country?
Well, you know, that's a really good question. I'm not supporting American ground forces in Ukraine. Like everybody else, I'm moved to tears by the Ukrainians' will to fight. The cities will begin to fall, but the insurgency will linger, and this war could go on for a very long time. I'm trying to make it real to the people carrying out the war, that if you follow Putin, you could wind up losing your own freedom. So what I hope will happen here is that the world, not just the American people, will make a case against Putin that's been unmade. For 20 years, he has literally jailed opponents in Russia, poisoned people. He carpet bombed Aleppo in Syria and Idlib, Syria, and Chechnya, and nothing happened. Enough is enough. China is watching. I want the Chinese to know that if you go down this road with Taiwan, you may wind up not only being sanctioned, but going to jail one day.
It is shocking, Senator, to watch this in real time right before our eyes. Like you, everybody is moved to tears by what we're seeing in Ukraine. But you've said this. If Putin gets away with this, the U.S. will pay a very heavy price. So how far should the U.S. be willing to go to defend what is happening here? I heard you say no boots on the ground, but how far should we go?
Okay, the Achilles heel of the Putin war machine is oil and gas sector. The Biden administration is coming around to the idea of sanctioning Russian oil and gas. It's about 40% of the income of Russia comes from Russian oil and gas. 4% of our oil comes from Russia. We can make that up if we choose to, but every barrel of oil coming out of Russia has blood in it. So if you hit the oil and gas sector, that will further crush the ruble. But this front about legal liability, trust me, the people carrying out this war need to understand that they're exposed as individuals. So the one thing we could do that we're not doing is going after the oil and gas sector. And the other thing is elevate the determination of the world to hold these people accountable for committing war crimes.
So, Senator, when it comes to the oil and gas question, and it's a good one, it presumes that President Putin continues to be a rational actor, that he is not a crazy person, that he will back down if he is threatened financially or his economy is threatened. You've been watching him for a long time. Do you still believe, and not everyone does, that he is a rational player on the world stage?
I think he's got a plan to destroy Ukraine and to bring certain satellite Soviet states back into his orbit. In terms of a nuclear exchange, the French had the best answer. We have weapons too. Nobody wins a nuclear war. So I'm not Dr. Phil. I can't tell you what makes this guy tick, but I can tell you we can crush the ruble. We can destroy the Russian economy. The Russian people are not our enemy. It is Putin. We're fighting a man in a small group of people. The oligarchs are beginning to lose their yachts. I want the military commanders to know, is this who you want your country to be? Are you going to follow this guy to the gates of hell? There's a chance to break Putin from his people, and everything we can do to hurt the Russian economy, I hate it for the Russian people, makes this more unsustainable. So we got a moment in history to do something with Putin we haven't done in 20 years, put him out of the game.
Senator, I won't ask you to be Dr. Phil, but I will ask you to predict something for me. You have warned that if Ukraine is successful in standing their ground, that Putin will, your words, go scorched earth. What does that look like? Do you believe that he will go beyond Ukraine?
I don't know if he'll go beyond Ukraine, but here's what's going to happen. Urban warfare is very difficult. We learned that in Iraq and Afghanistan. So if a sniper shoots a Russian soldier from an apartment building, what we would do is try to isolate the sniper. What they will do is destroy the apartment building. He's going scorched earth here. He's going to start disassembling all resistance. He has look at Aleppo. If you want to know the playbook for Putin, Chechnya, he leveled the place. Aleppo, Syria, barrel bombs coming out of helicopters. That's the Russian game plan, and they're all war crimes. And the world complained, but we moved on. We can't move on when it comes to Ukraine. China's watching, Iran is watching.
Yeah. Senator Graham, you've had your eyes focused on Putin now for many years. We appreciate you coming on to share your perspective. As this tragedy continues to unfold, please come back to us.